How do we build cultures where people feel like they belong, where they feel connected, and where they feel valued every single day? And how do we do that when most of our people are working remotely? Well, in this video, I'm going to share 5 simple things that you can do that don't cost anything to help you do just that. Hi, I'm Chris Littlefield. I'm the founder of Beyond Thank You, the author of the book 75 Team Activities for Remote Teams. I spent over 15 years helping leaders build and maintain cultures where their people feel valued regardless of where they're located. Let's jump in. What most people don't realize is that culture is a conversation that's generated by the things that we talk about and the actions that we take each day. Like a path that forms in the grass from constant use, as soon as we stop going down that path, the weeds in the grass will start to regenerate. So it's important as leaders, as companies, as even team members, we're being conscious of the conversations that we're having each day. Are we only talking about the work? Are we only reaching out to people when there's a problem or we need something? Or are we doing things each day to build and maintain those relationships and taking time to also celebrate together? Now, before I jump into the activities, I want to share 2 general rules that are always good to live by. One is always make time for connection before content and gratitude before goodbye. So if you're meeting with somebody, whether it's virtual or in person, before you immediately jump into what you need or the content of the meeting, always pause, say hello, check in with them about their day, ask about their family, and then jump into your conversation. And before you leave it, always thank the person for their time. Now, the second rule is what I refer to in my book as the 1-6 rule. That for every hour of meeting times, 1/6 of it, or 10 minutes, should be used for relationship building. So if it's a 1-hour meeting, 10 minutes. If it's a 2-hour meeting, 20 minutes. If it's a 3-hour meeting, that's inhumane. No one should have 3-hour meetings. And if you live by those general rules, you'll always carve out time to connect as human beings before jumping into the content that you're there to meet about. Number 1 is show your appreciation through flexibility and understanding. Now, if you've ever worked for a boss who just forgot about all the things you just mentioned that you were dealing with outside of work, you know the experience. If you have kids at home and they schedule every single meeting at 6 o'clock at night while you're doing homework with your kid, or always scheduling meetings at 8 o'clock in the morning when you're still trying to do school drop-off, you know how that feels. And so one of the best ways that we can support people is by understanding what they're dealing with outside of work. Do your employees have kids at home? Are they caring for an elderly parent? Did they just lose a loved one and they're going through that, or going through something in their personal life? The more you understand what your people are going through outside of work, the more you can support them and be flexible inside of work, right? And if you're looking for more tips on this, I wrote an article early on in the pandemic on how to be a respectful and empathetic coworker in the COVID-19 crisis, where I lay out several different tips there, all of which still apply today. And I'll put a link to that article in the video description below. Number 2, carve out time every single week to celebrate together as a team with a simple small victories practice. Now, I learned about this activity from group process expert Glenn Johnson. And so I'm in a group of speakers and trainers with Glenn, and he started this ritual, I think maybe 2 years ago, and I look forward to it every single week. So if you have a team chat, whether it's Teams or with Slack or something like that, or even just an email chain, every Thursday around noon, send a question out to the group, what were your small victories this week? And people can share anything from maybe I did a little laundry to I sent that email I've been avoiding, or I finally had a conversation or got a report done that I've been putting off, where people get to share their victories, no matter how big or how small, and to celebrate together. And so it gives your people who are working remotely an opportunity to step away from all the things that they didn't do that week and take a moment to focus and celebrate what they did accomplish and to do it together. Number 3, implement a team shoutouts process at the beginning or end of your weekly or monthly team meeting. Now, simply in the beginning or end, just open up the floor and say, does anybody want to give a shout out to somebody on our team or on another team that really helped them out or really did something awesome this week? Now, when you first ask this question, people are likely to be shy. But if you just sit there quiet for a few minutes, somebody will bubble up and share something. And then another person will share, and then another person will share. And I share this activity in almost every workshop I run. And I heard a really great story from somebody over at Wayfair the other day. So a senior manager started doing this at the end of their meeting. And not only did people start coming prepared to share, but the managers below them started implementing the same process in their meetings as well. And so it started trickling across the organization and making more time for shout outs in general across the organizational culture. And that's where you start to really make a difference. And the best part, if you do this on a regular basis in all your meetings, people will start scanning throughout the week for great moments or ways that people help them and come to your meeting ready to share. Number 4, send a virtual handwritten thank you note, not an e-card. Now, many organizations have some sort of internal reward or recognition platform where they can hit a button and send an e-card and maybe even attach points to it. And that's nice from time to time. But people tend to not remember those. They don't tend to save those. And especially if they're received via email, they get lost and they may never see them again unless they print them out. And the reason why a handwritten thank you card is often more meaningful is because we show that we took the time to write it out, to find the person's address and actually mail it to them. And there's nothing better than receiving a card or some sort of little gift in the mail that we didn't expect. And so showing that little bit of extra effort goes a long way. So take out a piece of paper, take out a card if you have one, write a handwritten note to that person expressing your appreciation and drop it in the mail. Now, if you don't have this person's address, snap a photo of the card and just send them a picture of the card and say, next time I see you, I'm going to give it to you. Or please send me your address so I can put this in the mail. And I guarantee they're going to save that card for years to come and remember the time when you, as a boss, as a supervisor, or as a coworker, took the time to send them that kind message. And number 5, spark a little gratitude with some simple appreciation prompts. If you remember in the beginning of the video, I said that culture is created by the conversations we have and the actions we take. So as a leader, manage that conversation sometimes by sending out some simple prompts that spark people to think about what they're grateful for and why. You can ask questions like, share your appreciation with someone who really made you smile today, or someone that you learned something from, or somebody that inspires you. Who's a person in your life that you really appreciate but you haven't talked to in a long time? And send those out. Maybe you can share them in the chat in the beginning of a meeting, or you can share them in your team chat via Slack or Teams or something like that. But think about being conscious about the conversations you're having with each other. Right? And when we do, that's how we maintain a culture where people feel valued and appreciated and where great work gets done. Once again, I'm Chris Littlefield from Beyond Thank You. If you found this video helpful, please hit like, share, and subscribe, and share with at least one other person who you think would make a difference for. And together, we can build cultures where people feel valued and appreciated every single day.